It's time for some high seat talking because I did mention something in a community post that I would highly recommend to you guys, and here are the city and town stereotypes of where I railfan anywhere in the GTHA. Toronto is a pretty basic place to start railfanning in, and this is coming from the person who railfans in the Toronto area a lot. Except, there's a lot of places in, quote, Toronto to start railfanning in. There's a lot of places. Let me go grab my phone a second. All the areas in Toronto that I've been to or railfan at are downtown Toronto, Old Toronto, Etobicoke North, York, Old York, all that. And all I'd say is that Toronto has a lot of, like, all the basics. Like, they got VIA, they got CP, CN, GO, and of course the additional TTC. You got the subways, you got the streetcars, you got all the buses that run through there, and some of the additional regional coach buses from either GO or other agencies, such as Coach Canada. Now, I can already hear people dying to hear more about, like, Vaughan, Markham, Newmarket. I am not going to explain all of that. I'm just going to be doing major cities, such as Toronto, Oakville, Milton, Mississauga, Brampton, Hamilton, Burlington, Niagara Falls, all that. But without further ado, let's go figure out the other cities, which is coming up now. Up next is Mississauga, and I don't really have much to say about Mississauga, except for, well, aside from looking at a lot of newsfeed about Mississauga and the Milton area recently, a lot of stabbing and multi-purpose stuff, such as stabbing, and more stabbing. That's what I see on a lot of the newsfeed through Mississauga, and yeah, there's just not a lot to explain about Mississauga. I haven't rode the Milton line. I only drive Lakeshore West trains through, well, not drive, but I ride GO trains through the Mississauga area, such as Port Credit, Long Branch, all that. Those are the only stations in Mississauga. I don't know. There's not a lot to say, except you got the Lisgar GO, you got Kipling, you got the Milton line. Those run through Mississauga. Alright, I'm a little bored of explaining Mississauga. Let's just go to the next clip. Another one of the more larger tier municipalities of the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area, we have Oakville. And I've explained Oakville in more historical ways before. If you haven't seen any of the ride videos, if you want to see the ride video, the link will be in the description below. So, coming from Oakville, one of my friends lives in Oakville, and as far as Oakville seems pretty mysterious, because there's been a lot of cases around Oakville where it's been just a regular day, a regular week, and then the next thing you know, you got like some drug addict activities going on in Oakville somewhere. You got all the homeless everywhere. Because, well, homeless crises are pretty bad here in Southern Ontario, I'm not gonna lie. But when it comes to, like, rail fanning wise, Oakville is not bad of a station. I will say that for now. Oakville is a pretty decent station. It is a really big transit hub because you've got all the 15-minute service trains, you got all the half-hour service trains, you got all that, and everything seems pretty normal, pretty still. And then you got the yard local works that work through between Oakville Yard and Aldershot Yard, and yeah, you only get like 2 or 3 locals a day, but hey, at least you got like some Via Rail service and all the GO service that operates through there, along with the additional Oakville Transit to get around the Oakville city. And that's where we bring our attention to, is Oakville. And yeah, I'll say Oakville's a pretty good spot. It's a pretty good city, very mysterious and kind of it's a pretty good city. So, I wouldn't really give, like, anything for, like, additional ratings for cities or towns or anything like that. Just blabbering my mouth off. I'm yapping about different cities in the GTHA from where I go and from. Just blabbering my mouth off for, like, God knows how many minutes straight. Brampton has a lot of immigration to it. They are the first city in Canada to start making electric fire trucks, apparently. They got some pretty interesting things that happen around there. Plus, they're also the #1 city for the highest car insurance to ever exist. Like, a lot of car accidents, a lot of things happen in Brampton. There's a lot of drug abuse, and there is a lot of shooting down there. Because you got gangs from Toronto ending up in Brampton, because apparently some gangs in Toronto have some really big beef with people in Brampton. I don't understand why beef has gotten around everywhere. Like, next thing you know, you say something small, and then the next person right beside you is offended just like that. And it's just like, oh, well, Brampton sucks. And then the next person in Toronto is like, hey, yo, gang, someone said that Toronto sucks. We should go shoot him up. Oh my god. What would you consider Burlington? Would you consider Burlington mid or actually good?
Under mid. I hated living there when I did live there.
Oh.
Well, Burlington, considering how old-fashioned it still is,
it's actually more modern than it is old-fashioned. I hate to break it to you.
Well, basically, yeah, it's quite mid.
Damn it.
David, it's below mid. Like,
well, according to you.
Well, according to my friends, when they did say that Burlington is mid, I'd actually say that Burlington is actually a fairly decent city. Although there are some disadvantages about railfanning in Burlington. But we all got the stereotypes in Burlington that you actually may meet some very nice people. But that's like that once in a while kind of feeling. So it's like you might as well talk to one person and hope for the best for it. Because if you talk to the wrong person, then yeah, you're cooked. There's a small little cool thing about Burlington where there's this place called Bayview Junction, and it is equally split between Burlington and Hamilton. And we're going to be getting into Hamilton really shortly. But we're going to have another word with my friends real quick and talk about Hamilton and Burlington. Well, Bayview. Okay, so I need some how do I begin?
I don't know. We made a video.
Okay, so what do we got for Bayview Junction? What are your guys' opinions on Bayview?
It's a dub. It's kind of hovering over mid. As you get decent power, decent power, decent lighting, decent background. It's just that one curve where it's just the curves where the CNs can sneak around it.
Yeah, the curves are pretty annoying.
Well, basically, Bayview Junction, I love that. I kind of love that spot.
Well, I guess we can all agree that Bayview is a pretty good spot, even though that half of it is, well, most of it, I can't say half of it, but most of it is in Hamilton, and then the other portion is in Burlington. I'm gonna be getting into Hamilton shortly.
Wait, Hamilton, it's a good city if you can get past the crackheads everywhere in downtown.
That is true, but then there's the outer part portions of Hamilton, like Stony Creek. I wouldn't have much to say for Hamilton, except the drug abuse, the homeless, and all the steel mills that run throughout the city of Hamilton. There are some other possibilities and some good sides about Hamilton that I do like about. Like, I do like the transit agencies, I do like the Hamilton side of Bayview Junction, and that seems about it. The only other place that I do know about Hamilton is Stony Creek, and Stony Creek is a small little go yard where they park GO trains overnight once they're done full service. They park GO trains in Stony Creek in the storage track overnight, and then they get things ready for the next morning, starting at like 5, 6 in the morning. Some of them equipment move towards Willowbrook, some of them go all the way to Union Station, some of them go up to West Harbour to start the West Harbour shift to Toronto, then they start Toronto to West Harbour, and all the other eastbound trains from West Harbour continue east going to Oshawa. And I don't want to forget about Hamilton Go Center in downtown Hamilton, like straight downtown Hamilton. Because, well, the station is basically closed every weekend. Because it's all rush hour stuff. At some point, I do want to go to the Hamilton Go Center station and go onto the Go platforms and watch all of the CP trains roam through the station, heading towards Welland, heading towards Agincourt, heading towards Hamilton Yard, all that stuff. It's gonna be fun if that point ever does come. I don't know. It may never not. Who knows? We'll see what happens in the future on this channel. Niagara Falls. The most mid, the most average, and the most dead city for rail fanning. I am going to come absolutely clean. Niagara Falls is not the best to rail fan in or at. Like, the region, mid. I could care less for Niagara Falls anymore. It is an absolute ass city to rail fan in. The Grimsby, the Stamford, those subdivisions, absolute ass, and they're always dead. 24/7, they are dead. You only got 2 freight trains, and you get like only so little passenger service. You get 2 Via Rails, and you get like 6 or 8 GO trains that run through there. You get the regular weekend service, and then you get the weekday rush hour trains. So you get 2 morning trains, 2 afternoon trains, and 2 night trains. That's it. That's all. And also, I don't want to forget all those evening trains as well. The only exception for Niagara Falls not being such an ass city to rail fan in is if you get the extra freight service. I can accept extra freight service because you'll get an occasional X421 and X422, but that's about it. CNL562 has entered the chat, y'all. The thing is, the same thing would apply less to St. Catharines, just minus the CPKC activity down there. Same trains, same boringness, same assness. The Grimsby sub is just dead. And I've got nothing else to say for that. That's it. That's all. There you go.